If you don't decide how your day is spent, trust me, someone else already has. Your boss, your phone, your habits, your distractions. Time doesn't disappear, it gets stolen. And most people don't even realize who the thief is. Time is the most valuable asset you own, yet most people treat it like it's unlimited. Jim Rohn taught that success is not about having more time, but about using the time you already have wisely. In this message, you'll learn why controlling your time is the first step to controlling your future, and how small daily decisions determine whether you live by design or by default. Time is not just a tool you use to organize your day, it is the substance of your life itself. Every minute you spend is a minute of your existence that you will never get back. When you truly understand this, your relationship with time changes. You stop treating it casually and start treating it carefully. Each morning you wake up with a fixed amount of time, and no amount of money, power, or regret can buy even one extra minute once it's gone. This is why Jim Rohn said, "Days are expensive." The price of a wasted day is not small. It costs you a portion of your future. Most people think they're killing time, but in reality, time is killing their potential. Hours disappear into distractions, unplanned activities, and low-value habits that bring comfort but no progress. At the end of the day, they feel busy yet unfulfilled. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Successful people understand this difference. They don't just fill their days, they invest them. They ask a powerful question before committing their time. Is this activity building my future or stealing from it? When you waste time, you're not just losing hours, you're delaying your growth. You're postponing the skills you could have learned, the discipline you could have built, and the opportunities you could have created. One wasted day may seem harmless, but wasted days compound just like success does. A year of unfocused days turns into regret. On the other hand, small intentional use of time compounds into mastery, confidence, and results. 10 minutes of learning every day may not feel like much, but over months and years, it transforms who you are. People who respect time understand its true cost because they see time as life energy. They know that every minute spent on growth strengthens their future, and every minute spent on distractions weakens it. That's why they protect their time fiercely. They say no more often. They limit activities that drain them. They choose progress over pleasure. This doesn't mean they never rest. It means they rest with purpose, not out of habit. Spending time wisely also means aligning it with your values and goals. If your goals are big but your daily actions are small and scattered, there is a disconnect. Time reveals your priorities, not your words. You can say success matters to you, but if most of your time is spent avoiding effort, the truth becomes clear. When you bring awareness to how you spend your time, you regain control of your life. The moment you realize that time equals life, urgency is born. Not panic, but purpose. You stop waiting for someday and start acting today. You stop procrastinating and start preparing. You understand that the future is built in the present, one wisely spent moment at a time. Spend your time like your life depends on it, because it does. When you don't plan your day, you give permission for the world to plan it for you. Time does not remain empty for long. It gets filled, usually by the loudest demand, the easiest distraction, or the most urgent interruption. Unplanned time quickly turns into controlled time, where your attention is pulled in every direction except the one that matters most. Instead of moving towards your goals, you spend your day reacting, responding, and recovering from other people's priorities. Distractions thrive in the absence of direction. When your day has no clear structure, emails begin to dictate your focus. Notifications decide when you stop and start. Social media quietly steals minutes that turn into hours, and by the end of the day, you feel exhausted but unsure what you actually accomplished. This constant reaction mode creates the illusion of productivity while slowly draining your potential. You're busy, but you're not building anything meaningful. Other people's emergencies easily become your daily routine when you lack a plan. Without defined priorities, everything feels urgent and you say yes too often. You allow meetings, favors, and last-minute requests to consume the time that should have been invested in your own growth.
Over time, this pattern trains you to live for other people's agendas while your own dreams remain untouched. A life lived without planning slowly becomes a life lived by default. Planning your day is not about control or rigidity, it's about freedom. A written plan gives you permission to say no to distractions without guilt. It allows you to focus deeply on what matters most because you've already decided in advance how your time should be spent. When you plan your day, you stop negotiating with distractions in the moment. The decision has already been made, and that removes mental stress and wasted energy.
A simple plan creates clarity. It doesn't need to be complicated. Knowing the few key tasks that move your life forward gives your day a sense of purpose. Instead of wondering what to do next, you move with intention. This clarity builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. When you consistently execute a planned day, you begin to trust yourself more because you keep the promises you make to yourself. A written plan also acts as a shield for your goals. It protects your time from being hijacked by low-value activities. It reminds you why certain tasks matter and keeps you aligned with your long-term vision, even when distractions are tempting. Planning doesn't eliminate interruptions, but it reduces their power. You choose when to respond instead of being constantly pulled away. The most successful people are not more disciplined by accident. They are disciplined by design. They decide in advance how their time will be used so their future isn't left to chance. When you plan your day, you move from reacting to creating. You stop drifting and start directing. And in that shift, your time becomes an ally instead of an
Your future is not shaped by one dramatic moment or a single life-changing decision. It is quietly built by the small choices you make every single day. Most people overestimate what one big move can do and underestimate the power of consistent, simple actions. 10 minutes of learning may feel insignificant today, but repeated daily, it becomes knowledge, confidence, and skill. One focused hour may not look impressive on its own, but over time, it turns into progress that separates you from the crowd. Small choices work like compound interest. Individually, they seem harmless, almost invisible. Together, they create momentum. Every time you choose to read instead of scroll, to focus instead of multitask, or to act instead of procrastinate, you place a small vote for the future you want. These votes add up. Success doesn't arrive suddenly. It shows up quietly for those who have been preparing consistently. What makes small choices powerful is not their size, but their frequency. Anyone can be disciplined for a day or inspired for a moment. The real difference is made by people who practice simple disciplines every day, especially when no one is watching. Avoiding one distraction might save you only a few minutes, but repeating that choice daily protects hours, then weeks, then years of productive time. Over time, those protected moments become achievements. Small daily actions also build identity. When you consistently choose growth, you begin to see yourself as a disciplined person. When you keep promises to yourself, your confidence grows. This inner shift is just as important as external results. You don't just build success, you become the kind of person who naturally attracts it. Your habits shape your mindset, and your mindset shapes your future. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They wait for perfect conditions or massive motivation, ignoring the small actions that actually create change. The truth is, you don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You need to improve it slightly each day. Small improvements feel slow, but they are sustainable, and sustainability always wins. Success is the result of simple disciplines practiced every day, not once in a while. Reading a few pages daily beats reading a full book once a year. Practicing a skill briefly each day beats cramming occasionally. Progress belongs to those who show up consistently, not occasionally. The future rewards reliability more than intensity. When you understand the power of small choices, pressure disappears. You stop chasing shortcuts and start trusting the process. You focus on what you can do today instead of worrying about the entire journey.
And as days turn into months and months into years, you look back and realize that what once felt small has created something extraordinary. Your future is built daily, one small choice at a time. Everyone has certain hours in the day when their energy is highest and their mind is sharpest. This is your prime time, the window when you think clearly, focus deeply, and perform at your best. The difference between winners and losers is not talent or luck, but how they protect and use these powerful hours. Winners guard their prime time like a treasure. Losers give it away without realizing its value. Too many people spend their best energy on low-value activities. They check their phones first thing in the morning, respond to messages that don't matter, scroll through social media, or handle other people's priorities. By the time they turn to their own goals, their energy is gone, their focus is scattered, their creativity is drained. Dreams require your best energy, not what's left over after distractions have taken their share. Protecting your prime time starts with awareness. You must know when you perform at your peak. For many people, this is early morning. For others, it may be late at night. Once you identify it, treat that time with respect. Don't schedule meetings, errands, or distractions during those hours. Use them for your most important work, learning, planning, creating, and building your future. What you do during your prime time determines the direction of your life. Guarding your mornings is especially powerful. The morning sets the tone for the entire day. When you begin your day with intention instead of reaction, you gain momentum. A focused morning creates a productive afternoon and a satisfying evening. But when your morning is chaotic, rushed, or filled with distractions, the rest of the day often follows the same pattern. Winners design their mornings carefully because they understand how valuable those hours are.
Protecting your focus is just as important as protecting your time. Focus is fragile. It breaks easily when interrupted. Every notification, every unnecessary conversation, and every moment of multitasking weakens your ability to concentrate. When you protect your focus, you allow yourself to go deep, and deep work produces meaningful results. Shallow attention produces shallow outcomes. Guarding your future means making hard choices today. It means saying no to things that feel urgent but don't matter. It means choosing growth over comfort and discipline over distraction. These choices may not feel exciting in the moment, but they pay off over time. The future belongs to those who consistently use their best energy on their highest priorities. When you protect your prime time, your progress accelerates. You move faster because you're working smarter. You feel more fulfilled because you're using your energy on things that matter. And over time, those focused hours turn into skills, achievements, and confidence that no one can take away. Guard your mornings. Guard your focus. Guard your future, because success depends on how well you protect your best hours. The moment you take ownership of your time, your life begins to change. Time is the one resource that touches every part of your existence, your growth, your income, your relationships, and your future. When you control your time, you control the direction of your life. Without ownership, days slip by unnoticed, filled with reactions instead of intention. With ownership, every day becomes a deliberate step towards something meaningful. Most people live in reaction mode. They wake up and immediately respond to messages, demands, and distractions. Their schedule is shaped by urgency rather than importance. This kind of living creates movement, but not progress. You may feel busy, but you're not building anything that lasts. Taking ownership of your time means stepping out of reaction and into creation. You decide what deserves your energy before the world tries to decide for you. When you take control of your time, you stop drifting. Drifting happens when there is no clear direction, when days blend together and goals remain distant dreams. Time ownership gives structure to your ambition. It forces clarity. You begin to ask better questions. What matters most today? What action moves my life forward? These questions turn ordinary days into building blocks for a stronger future. Jim Rohn taught that personal responsibility is the foundation of success. Time control is personal responsibility in its purest form. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or lack of opportunity. It's harder, but far more powerful, to take responsibility for how you spend your hours. When you own your time, excuses lose their power. You no longer wait for permission or perfect conditions, you act. Taking ownership also builds self-respect. Each time you follow through on your plans, you reinforce trust in yourself. You prove that your goals matter enough to protect your time. This self-trust compounds into confidence, and confidence fuels action. Over time, you become someone who keeps promises to yourself, and that identity becomes your greatest strength. Owning your time doesn't mean controlling every minute with rigidity. It means being intentional. It means aligning your daily actions with your long-term vision. It means knowing when to focus, when to rest, and when to say no. Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from doing what matters most. Time ownership creates that freedom. When you start creating instead of reacting, life feels different. You feel purposeful instead of rushed. You feel calm instead of overwhelmed. Progress replaces frustration. Your days stop feeling random and start feeling connected to something bigger. You see momentum building, and that momentum motivates you to keep going. In the end, taking ownership of your time is taking ownership of your life. Every hour you control moves you closer to the person you want to become. Every intentional day strengthens your future. Stop drifting, start building, because the life you want is created not in big moments, but in how you choose to spend your time every single day. Don't wait for more time. You won't get it. Use the time you have. Design your days, or someone else will design them for you. Because in the end, those who control their time control their destiny.